Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day and a wonderful weekend. Let's take another look here at Bitcoin. Just getting a quick update here, what's going on. Easy way to understand it is that the market's performing naturally. Okay, so don't overreact or overthink things. What's going on. We're gonna double check Bitcoin dominance. It's pretty much running straight sideways. So this is actually very good for altcoins, because even though they are pulling back, Bitcoin is as well, and that's kind of a natural alignment. Let's also take a look at Bitcoin futures and just double check here really quick if there's any gaps forming, which looks like there is. 66,200 was the close. So just keep in mind, we got a gap forming right now. I'll actually put that on our regular chart here, just so we can kind of pay attention with some perspective here. So what, 66,200, all right, cool. So we'll just go ahead and pay attention to that for later. That is a potential CME gap forming. If we close below 66,200, then it would be inevitable for the price to essentially rally back up to that level. So this is actually good that the price is pulling back. Then we can get in a better entry here, potentially in the 64.5 or 65K range. We're already in the 65K range, but I'm looking for an entry at the low 65s or mid 64s. It may not even be a reality. We'll see here soon, obviously, but this is a weekend, folks. I wouldn't expect amazing things. So let's quickly refresh our liquidation, see what's going on. Go from there. I want to say thank you again so much for the awesome support and feedback I'm getting here. Really, really cool people been tuning in to our channel. So thanks so much again for that. Quick congrats to our community. I always had to list this out here. Not good. 61% on that coin. We also got VeChain, Polkadot, Filecoin, MNT, ICP, Near Protocol, and Cardano. So it's been a very profitable week for us. So again, it's okay for things to relax and calm down. It's okay to not trade for a couple of days. Don't worry about it, folks. Just kind of, get used to pumping the brakes. It's perfectly fine to not be in the market all day. So take a look here at liquidation. We can see, excuse me, 66,500 upwards of 67,000. There's a small amount of late shorts in there right now. And if we do kind of zoom out and in, of course, this is like the last 30 days here, we can see new liquidation areas forming in the 69 to 70K range. So it's basically implied that those are low leverage short positions that are essentially have their stop loss in that range. We can also disseminate here as well that 62 to 61,000 is kind of some key levels also to the downside with heavier concentrations. It doesn't matter too much right now because we're far away from it. I don't think we're going to see 61 to 62K at this point. We'd have to break through a lot of barriers to get there, but it's still something to note. We can see majority of the market is greener than red at this point. This is again the last 1 day time frame here. So keep in mind the last 24 hours we've seen more green than red. And then if we do take a look here at just kind of some liquidation events here, we got heavier concentrations. These are high leverage longs at 65.2K. Those could get swept here soon. And then some mid-range liquidation levels at about 65 even. So 65 and 65.2 are susceptible to getting swept here soon. It's not a dramatic amount, of course, but it is still something that's there nonetheless. So let's take a quick look here. Let's make sure our fibs are up to date. We're honoring our ascending trend line. Let's go ahead and work with our daily time frame and go down here and just kind of give perspective here. And to clarify too, a lot of people ask, if I can cover the weekly or the monthly. We literally on Monday, I'll cover the weekly and the monthly together just because it's going to be a new month and a new week, right? So this week technically hasn't closed yet. So I don't really want to overdo it here. The last thing we talked about here previously is being above the 200-day SMA. So just to kind of clarify and to zoom in here, we can kind of see that purple line here is right there at about 60, round number 64,000. So 64K, 64.5, 65K. Those are three areas I've noticed that are consistent in potential areas of confirmation for likely support ranges. Okay. Now again, tremendous amount of volume comes flowing into Bitcoin or out of Bitcoin. We could see a totally different story, but generally speaking, previous resistance turn support, that's what we should kind of bank on here for the moment. 64.5 seems like a very logical consideration for a long if we get there. Take a look here. MACD is just losing its momentum a little bit. That's very natural. Stochastic is swinging up. Money flow index is very high. Traditional RSI is under 70. These are all very positive bullish signs. Okay. Now they're not like amazing, like saying, hey, we're going to shoot to the moon here tomorrow, which never happens, by the way, but we are essentially going to, continue on this uptrend. That's basically what it's telling us. And we're honoring our ascending trend line here too. We got this test of, higher lows. And until that breaks, we cannot consider shorting into this, okay? even though you probably have some success. I'm sure there's some folks that shorted at 66,400 after multiple attempts with a high leverage short, right? But at this point, it makes no sense to short because you're going against the grain, and unless you want to watch it closely, which is perfectly fine, by the way, as a day trader, it doesn't make a ton of sense to try to short with such tight margins. Okay, we're really close to a consideration for a long entry at this point, so why risk it? Again, weekends are weird. Try not to trade into weekends if you can. If you have trades open right now, I wouldn't be super concerned, especially if you have altcoin trades open. We have two that are kind of like really just under break even, and I'm not really super concerned with that because, again, market's not really moving super fast. We had a ton of volume, and it's going to take a lot of selling pressure to get through that barrier. Either way, stochastic swinging down, money flow index starting to taper off, RSI is coming back down. Those are all good natural contractions. Same thing here as well with MACD is diverging. This is essentially telling us that we should see further downside, and I would agree with that. Again, we're still above majority of moving averages. We're still over every single moving average, rather, but we're still above most of these center lines and the important support ranges. So to me, until we break through those barriers, there's no reason to think that the sky is going to fall here, right? These are natural pullbacks. It's actually good that we're seeing stochastic and MACD diverge right now, because it's just kind of a cooling off period. You kind of have to have those indicators reset once in a while, especially in a bullish trend, because how are we going to leg up if we consistently go straight up, right? We need to have a healthy staircase pattern, which we are seeing here so far. Hourly time frame, Ichimoku Cloud. This is kind of giving us the indication here that we are in a position where the price action is, due to pullback, right? And it's definitely the way that it goes. This is very standard and normal, but what I want to clarify here is that the lagging span intersect with the price action, usually when that occurs, you want to consider securing profits. However, we're still well above the cloud, and the cloud is kind of hanging out there as a good support range. So generally best practice not to trade into that. Same thing here with the lagging span, or sorry, the conversion line rather. It's below the baseline, basically implying we've shifted momentum, which we know that, right? We looked at the 4 hour, we can kind of extract that's the case. So the overall sentiment here is that the price is due to pull back a little bit further, and we got to give it a chance to test this level and potentially hold for the next potential leg up. If the price comes down here, kind of consolidates and then legs down, we want to have a different conversation potentially. But that would also fall in line with standard trading patterns too, because a lot of times they get you to FOMO into these late shorts here, and then they just destroy everybody. So again, you want to be careful just instantly taking a short as soon as you break a trend line too. We'll get there, or if we get there rather, we'll have that conversation and how to properly navigate that. Between now and then, just know there is a CME gap forming here upwards of 66,200. I'll identify that on our playout chart here shortly, which is available again, future reference on Twitter, Telegram, or Discord if you're kind of not familiar with that. And that's kind of what we're looking at there. So what I want to discuss here is just really quick to highlight from my yesterday's playout chart. We are expecting, based on macro fibs, the 64,500 to 65.3 range to be tested. So this is very expected. This is very normal. And in a perfect world, we get in at about 64.5. And to clarify, that is the macro fib levels here drawn out from the most recent high, 74,000 roughly, down as low as about 49,000 or 49.5. So again, that 0.618 fib level should work as a support. That's for the range that we're in right now, or entering, and that's a positive sign. So I would not expect a tremendous amount of pullback here. Once again, weekends are a little funky, but we'll see what happens. All right. Thanks again so much for watching. Once more, appreciate your support. Looking forward to working with you if you want to become a better trader. CryptoCash.tech is the site. Have a good rest of your weekend. We'll see you soon. Take care.